Is this the moment that we have all been waiting for? Have Yasuo and Ekko met their match? These were the long-awaited patch notes that we knew were coming at some point. Based on the overall reaction so far to these notes, might finally give us some new best champions in the game. The most essential hits were to Ekko and Yasuo, thank God, with Ahri and Warwick receiving some smaller adjustments. Leave my girl out of this! System changes. Core gameplay, assistant point hitboxes will now be closer together during happy birthdays. To get in the weeds, assists are now pulled in towards the point champion on every hit, so their hitboxes get closer and closer together. If two champions are in the air, or if two champions are on the ground, if they're spread apart, if they're really close together after one hit, they're going to be brought together. If they're really far apart, each hit bring them closer together until they're right on top of each other, therefore making happy birthdays more consistent and less likely of them to just randomly drop out. Bug fixes. Fix the bug where jump cancel at the launcher and let's track the assist instead of point. Yes! We needed this 20 days ago. Or 30 days ago, or any days ago. We needed this yesterday. We needed this a long time ago. This was so stupid. Freaking 2H'ing somebody, getting them and their assist, and then it tracks the assist instead, and then they pop out and potentially punish you for just trying to confirm your goddamn combo. This needed to be fixed so long ago. Champion adjustments. Ahri, what'd you do to my girl? Ahri's performing very well, but not so much that we need to drastically alter her game plan. We're adjusting some of her strongest neutral tools, specifically mid-air, down heavy, and S1 super. It will still be as strong offensively, but will be easier for opponents to interact with. Her jump being down heavy, you now might win more often. Honestly, that's fine. Again, honestly, it has been a really broken button for her, so honestly, that's fine. S1 super now dissipates when parried. Ooh, no more free neutral for super. Even though I played the champion and definitely have been abusing this, to say the least. I approve because this has been really stupid for a very long time, and this is a very good change. When tagged out, Spirit Rushes any direction plus S2 can no longer be canceled into mid-air. Aww. So this is really good in duos. So like one of the best parts about Ahri as a duo champion is the ability to puppet her S2, right? And then doing so with the teammates, allowing you to do whatever, allows for a bunch of combos, a bunch of setups, really cool stuff. But I guess they removed that. Okay, so Ahri changes. Honestly, it's fine. I might end up saying otherwise when I actually try it, and then I down S1, they block it, and then I immediately just get smacked because they recovered really quickly, so I might change my mind on that later, but otherwise that's fine. This really is the end-all be-all button, so I got no problem with then making it easier to deal with by opponents. So nothing really changes there, it's just that now when she jumps up and does this button, you actually have a better chance of dealing with it. She is going to be slightly weaker now. She's still going to be plenty good, like let's be honest. Darius isn't perceived as a top tier champion. We're adding a gap to his guaranteed bleed, huh? As a true block string that applied bleed, removed defense options and could be formed while tagged out. This move was too strong. Huh. They nerfed Darius. So Darius can no longer guarantee a bleed anymore. Okay, I got no problems with that, mainly because I don't play him. This is a weird nerf. We're going to save Ekko and Yasuo for last because we know that's literally the only reason why we're here right now. Illaoi lost her infinite. That's it. So we're still going to see plenty of Illaoi, and we're continuing to see a rise in Illaoi. Then I guess we're going to continue to do so because, yeah. Vi is making an impact in the meta, but there's some leftover pain points with our S1 and mid-air S1. We're just in hitbox and hurtbox on S1 to make it easier to interact with. So the move that basically no one ever used, they made it worse. Okay. S1 was too difficult to counter poke once Vi started traveling forward. You can now hit her with more normals if you want to challenge her. S1 and charge mid S1 are no longer an overhead. So Vi no longer has her high-low 50-50, and Vi is now easier to poke out of her punch. The only nerf I was really hoping to see for Vi was just that they would basically give her charged S1 projectile properties when it came to tagging out, so that way people can't just start charging S1, then tag out, and then keep holding the S1 like it's a freaking pseudo Teemo slingshot. And that's honestly the most annoying thing about Vi right now. So if they were going to nerf anything, I would have hoped it'd be that. But I guess making it easier to poke Vi works too, I guess. Warwick, please nerf S1, please nerf S1. Warwick's S1 is doing too many things. We're reducing effectiveness as an anti-air, a mid-crush, and as a mix-up tool. Yes. We're also making it easier to punish some of his air specials. Yes. Nerfs, S1. Star has been increased from 24 to 20. That's it. If the animation has been updated to make it much more obvious that the S1 is coming, this is fine. I would have been fine with it staying at 24 frames if the animation is updated to where you know he's doing it. Because 24 frames is reactable, 19, 18, whatever the hell it is, that is not. Overall height has been decreased, so it's no longer an anti-air, sure. Where we no longer avoid standing normals as easily by hovering. Yeah, can't jump. So you can't jump normals, and you can't snipe people out of freaking super jump height. Block stun on airborne opponents has been increased by 2 frames, so it's now better as an anti-air tool in terms of if the opponent blocks it. But it's now less of one because the height has been decreased. Hitboxes have been adjusted. Custom hitboxes have been adjusted to make better match new hitboxes. S1 is core part of Warwick's kit, but it was overloaded. No shit. It was literally his entire kit. By making these adjustments, we're hoping a room to move power around in other parts of Warwick's kit. Yeah, gut the S1 and make other better, I guess. Bloodlust now expires more quickly. We don't want to remove the infinite. We're just going to make the infinite last less time because Bloodlust is going to expire faster. Or we can no longer perform mid-air S2 immediately after jumping to overhead standing opponents. They really are just trying to remove all the insta overhead high-low stuff, aren't they? So now to the parts we actually care about. Ekko first. Ekko's Okazemi and neutral presence have proven to be too strong. We're reducing his Okazemi by making down S2 only invulnerable to projectiles. So his roll no longer dodges punches and also no longer automatically beats get up attack. And removing the ability to card cancel into S2 super whenever Ekko has an after image out. Oh. We've also done a pass on Ekko's hitboxes to bring them more in line with the rest of the cast, particularly in its aerial sweep where mid-air H and S2 took up too much space. Huh. Yeah, I really did not see that coming. Card canceling replay into S2 Super was a powerful option for Ekko, which let him set up immediate projectile and perform a screen freeze as the opponent rolled. It also allowed Ekko to place after images in random locations, then use them later to get full combo from a throw. We originally added this input leniency to help with playfield, but turned into a power lever for Ekko, so we're removing it. You prevent teleporting to an after image when performing S2 Super by holding a direction. So basically, you can't do basically any of his Okis anymore, except for Okis that end in a 6S1 that don't already have a clone out, because you can no longer go into the install while you have your after image out, which basically every single one of Ekko's combos all do, because you're basically always ending with jump S2. I'll be honest, I didn't think they had it in them. They kept playing around with, yep, we're nerfing this Oki, but then we're going to nerf this Oki. Now they're just removing his Okis. Ekko's aerial hitboxes were overtuned, which let him win interactions unexpectedly, reducing the size of the hitboxes with the largest reductions on mid-air S2 and charged mid-air S2. Basically, ever since Frosty Faustings, like people were using it beforehand, of course, but ever since Frosty Faustings, probably the #1 thing you're most likely to see an Ekko player do is jump S2, call assist, jump S2, call assist, jump S2, call assist. Ekko's in a block string, jump S2, holding up back, then he's going to S2 and then call assist. He's playing in neutral, he's going to jump S2 and then he's going to call an assist. He runs at you to go for a throw bait of some kind, he's going to jump S2 and call assist, right? Does that all the time, and I guess they're tired of that. A pretty common Ekko combo is tag launch, immediate hop, into charge S2, down S2, into then short hop S2 limit strike to end the combo. To get a guaranteed limit strike basically off of any combo. That is now gone. And then there's more. Heavy and down heavy hitbox has been reduced. Ooh, Ekko's 2H might actually fit his height now, huh? Oh, thank you. Projectile will now return to Ekko immediately when parried with a hitbox disabled. I like the idea of what they did in the last one, right? When you parry the Time Winder, it'll keep going past you. But my God, was it so inconsistent. Sometimes it'll hit you 1 time. Sometimes it'll hit you 2 times. And then if you're wrong, you might actually just die for doing so. And then the corner, it's the exact same thing. You still have to mash parry over and over again unless you have a level 3 available. You are not going to get anything for it. But now it looks like if you parry 1 time, Time Winder goes away, it goes back to him, no more hitbox, and then you punish him accordingly. My God, I see why people are talking like Ekko got shots, because these are definitely the most impactful nerfs we have seen so far. That being said, though, Basically, all of his current setups are now gone. He no longer his air throw Oki, where he rolls through you with the time winder in order to bait wake up attack, no longer works because roll no longer beats wake up attack. Jump S2 is now a lot weaker. A lot of his air normals are weaker, and his heavy and down heavy is weaker. The likes of Ahri might legitimately be the new top 1 now after this patch. All right, let's look at Yasuo now. We're going to be adjusting 3 major pain points around the champion that will bring down his overall power level and build a healthier strength weakness profile. Wind wall nerf. Cooldown between consecutive wind walls has been increased. Wind wall duration has been reduced from 3 to 2. Okay. All this is fine, honestly. This probably ain't going to change much, so hopefully the other parts will. Mix-ups. Mid-air light and mid-air heavy herb sizes have been decreased. Mid-air down heavy is no longer an overhead and is now cancelable on block. So basically, last patch, they made it not cancelable on block, and now it's cancelable on block, but it's no longer an overhead. So now he can do J2H into slash again for left-right. It's just no longer part of a high-low. I'm honestly okay with that. Trying to turn him into a left-right champion, not a high-low champion. Updraft comp stance S2 lacks adequate counterplay. Yasuo is now easier to hit when performing the move, giving opponents more options if they defend appropriately. They're trying to remove a lot of his high-low mix-ups in favor of making him more of a left-right champion. Okay, I'm cool with that. Like, his cross-up slash, of course, is annoying, but is technically reactable, even though I get hit by it all the time. So making that the main thing rather than just the endless block string or the endless short hop light into guess high low repeatedly. That being gone is a definite hurt to Yasuo's mix-ups. And now rather than having a infinite stagger string that you then have to repeatedly guess on high-low left-right situations, now at least if you just hold down back, you can just primarily look towards the left-right instead. So he's now a champion where you're probably just going to end up holding down back against him a lot, in all honesty. On hit, Yasuo can still get the same conversions. At farther distance, you'll have to work harder to convert. Increasing S1's pushback on block prevents assists from making contact as easily, and the pushback makes comp stance canceling off this move less oppressive. So you're no longer doing thrust into stance or thrust into assist and then having it basically be, yep, here's thrust, here is whatever assist, immediately cancel into stance, immediately into dash across, and then boom, you're stuck in the guaranteed left-right sandwich from a million miles away. Now, depending, of course, on how far the pushback is, there's a chance, depending on assists, of course, some assists might even miss. So, like, there's potential that of my time potentially missing, and then all of a sudden Yasuo echoes thrust, call echo assist in order to set up the guaranteed sandwich might not even work anymore because there's a chance that my time might not even hit anymore. But if so, that is a hefty nerf, to say the least. That is a hefty nerf, since that was one of the main ideas in order to set up the quick and easy sandwich setups, which of course now isn't quite as strong anyways with the removal of the high-low, but of course you still have the left-right with Echo down S2. Charge this one, now pushes opponent less on block. Hey, we can punish it now! If anything, I guess that means we might be able to actually stay in range to actually punish people now, so you can't just immediately stance cancel, dash away before the jab even comes out. Or not before it comes out, but before your large enough button might actually hit. Amazing how things look when you read nerfs the character and it doesn't just say lower damage. We went from practically infinite pressure to go along with high-low 50-50s. Now strong pressure, but with some counterplay to it, if you guess correctly, and no high-low at all. And now it's just left-right. So we might legitimately see a world where Yasuo and Ekko are not top 1 and 2. What world is that gonna look like? Not gonna lie, probably a world full of Illaoi. Do you guys think Ekko and Yasuo have finally received big enough nerfs to where we're finally going to see a change up in the tier list for the first time? Or do you guys think that this is just going to be just another slap on the wrist for the two of them as we continue to live in Ekko and Yasuo's world? Remember, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.